Hey everybody, it's Jim here, and I do a decent amount of guitar reviews on this channel, and there are often times where I will receive comments from people asking me to demo guitars that they can either A, purchase easily in America, which is not the case for a lot of Japanese guitars that I demo on this channel, or B, fall into a more reasonable, budget-friendly price category. So, we got a few guitars, but we're going to start off today with one we haven't seen in quite some time, the Sterling Mariposa. And just like every other guitar review I do on this channel, we're going to start off by putting this guitar on the bench, checking out some of the quality control of this instrument, as well as talking about the playability of how this guitar arrived out of the box. Then we're going to plug it into the Friedman Pink Taco version 2 and hear what it sounds like. But before any of that, just want to let you know, Ernie Ball, Sterling by Music Man, did not provide me this, so I can say whatever I want and be as totally blunt as possible if applicable. If you enjoy this content, don't forget to hit a like and subscribe to this channel. And if you're interested in purchasing this or anything else, you can use the affiliate links to Guitar Center or Tolman down below. But let's get this on the bench and check it out. Now, the Sterling version of the Mariposa, this one is finished in Daphne Blue. It's also available in Pueblo Pink, Dorado Green, and Imperial White. You only have two humbuckers here, nothing wrong with that. You have one volume control for each one, so there is no tone controls for either of these pickups with the factory wiring as is. You have a three-way selector switch that is encompassed in this really cool, almost Cabronita style pickguard. I really like that. And then, as far as the bridge goes, you do have the Sterling branded tremolo system with 6 saddles. All right, on to the back of the guitar. There's only a few things worth pointing out here. It does have a tummy cut on it. These two covers are not recessed. They stick out a little bit from the body themselves. I know a lot of people that will drive them crazy. I feel like that's something that is absolutely worth noting though. This is a 5-bolt neck plate, but one thing I really do like about this design is the way that it curves here, kind of with your hand naturally. It's not a sharp kind of thing like you would have with a lot of traditional guitars. It does make accessing the higher frets a little bit easier. Alright, so this guitar has a roasted maple neck with a rosewood fingerboard and a 12-inch radius. The fret edges are pretty good, nothing too sharp that's going to really hurt your fingers or anything like that, or that you're going to notice straight out of the box, at least with this example of it. The nut is a synthetic nut that is 42 millimeters in width, and then you have medium-high frets, or what they call them. They're really similar to medium jumbos. Now, as you can see, they used some sort of finish on the headstock of the guitar, but it ends right here in a straight line. The rest of the neck and what you actually feel when you're playing it is a satin finish, and it is very fast. I really enjoy the feel of this neck. Now, when it comes to the shape of this neck, it is a modern C. It's a little bit on the thinner side. However, we are going to take the strings off, and we're going to measure at the 1st and the 12th fret. 0.84 at the 1st fret. 0.92 at the 12th fret. Now, as far as the quality control and fit and finish of this guitar goes, from the body standpoint, there's not really anything to complain about. The guitar is put together really well. However, it is worth noting that these pickup cavities that hold the pickups and similar ones like this, they do have some kind of paint bleeds, some paint drips. It's not exactly the cleanest job in those particular areas. However, it's not something you're going to notice when you're actually sitting and playing the guitar. It's only when you're doing silly YouTube videos like this or taking out a magnifying glass that you'll notice that. Now, one thing that I only noticed once I put this guitar onto the bench, because I didn't feel it when I was playing it, there is absolutely a crack in this neck right there that goes out to about there. So it's about yay big. I'm going to try my best to film it. However, if it doesn't come out through the video, I will take a still shot of it. I think that's worth noting. When I first took this guitar out of the box to play it, I did notice one thing that absolutely needed to be addressed quality control wise out of the box, and that was the nut itself. These first 5 strings, no problems as far as how they were cut and the thickness of it. This E string was way higher than the rest of the strings, so it led to a not ideal playing experience. I had to actually take out one of my StewMac nut files and take the string out and file it down so that it was more in line with the rest of the actual strings on the nut. And to be fair, this isn't something exclusive to this specific brand or this specific guitar. I've seen a lot of guitars from Indonesia, from China, from Mexico that have that similar kind of issue with the nutwork. And the last thing we're going to check out before we plug this thing into the Friedman Pink Taco version 2, you have a matching headstock with the Sterling by Music Man logo and the Mariposa logo. You have your typical string alignment via the tuners. That is common for Ernie Ball guitars. Now, seeing as though we just wrapped up the sound demonstrations for this Mariposa, I think it's only fitting that we start there for the review. I chose the Friedman Pink Taco version 2 because I felt like of the 3 amps, the Vox AC15, the Tone King Gremlin, and the Friedman matched this guitar's strengths the absolute best, and it brought the most out of it. This guitar at the edge of breakup clean is really, really solid. And then once you add in a high gain, this thing rips. This thing absolutely rips. I was laughing to myself playing it, and granted, a lot of that is this amplifier, the Friedman Pink Taco version 2, but it works really well with it. It really lends itself to aggressive playing, and having this tremolo system be pretty darn reliable without too much alteration to it as far as staying in tune is always a plus. This guitar plays really, really, really well. I mentioned it earlier with the tremolo system here, combined with the locking tuners and then lubricating the nut after I adjusted it with some Big Ben's nut sauce. It really is a stable guitar. It plays really fast, and a lot of that can be down to 2 things. 1, the radius is a 12-inch radius on this guitar, and 2, the fact that it does have the satin finish on the back of it. It's just a fast guitar to play, and again, it accentuates the strong sound points I feel of this guitar of being an aggressive sounding instrument. Now, as far as potential cons for this guitar, I can only really think of a few. The first is, out of the box, this comes with no gig bag or case whatsoever. You're only getting the tools to adjust the bridge and the truss rod, as well as the tremolo arm itself. If you wanted to take this to a friend's house to jam, or you wanted to go out and play a gig with it, you'd have to add in a case or a gig bag to your initial purchase cost. However, what I would recommend doing is trying to negotiate one into the deal if you are purchasing one from a store. But outside of that, the only other thing I think is worth mentioning again here is if you're somebody who's in search for glassy, clean tones, this is not going to be a guitar for you out of the box with these factory electronics in it and pickups. This stuff can be adjusted though. You can always swap these out, swap out all the pots and stuff like that, and have a field day experimenting and trying to find something that you really like, because the rest of the guitar really is amazing. And as far as who I think this guitar would be perfect for, if you play a Fender Jaguar, or you play a Fender Jazzmaster, other offset instrument, and you want something that's going to complement it well and beef up awesome with some gain, this is great. It really is great. This is a fun guitar to play. It's a very stable guitar after a setup. It's fairly lightweight, under 8 pounds, and yeah, it's at a decent price as well. So, that's all I have for you guys today. If you found this useful, enjoyable, or informative, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Other than that, I hope you tell somebody that you love today, that you love them, and that you play your guitar. That's all I ask from you guys. Take it easy. I'll see you on the next video. Take care.